Hi, I'm Kristie.
Nice to meet you.
What's your name?
Kristie?
Hi, Kristie. You can have a seat. So how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Before we get started, though, I want to talk a little bit about our confidentiality agreement. Anything that we talk about today will stay between you and I, unless you talk about harming yourself or someone else. And if that happens, I'll have to go to my supervisor.
Okay.
Okay? Do you understand?
Yes.
Do you have any questions so far?
Nope.
Great. Okay, let's get started then. Can you tell me why are you here?
I've just been having, I guess like a lot of anxiety. My boyfriend and I broke up a couple months ago, and I just don't know how to handle everything.
Okay, so what's your boyfriend's name?
Dave.
Okay, and how old is Dave?
25.
Okay. How old were you and Dave dating?
6 months.
6 months? How was your relationship?
It was really good.
Yeah, and can you tell me what happened?
I chose to go out one night, and I got intoxicated, and my friend was talking bad about my boyfriend for not being there. And obviously when you're under the influence, you kind of start believing things you hear. And I supposedly kissed some guy, but I don't know because I don't remember it.
Okay, so did somebody say that you kissed him?
The guy I supposedly kissed's best friend told my best friend.
Okay, so what did Dave do after he found out about the kiss?
I actually had told Dave in person 2 days later because I found out the following day, but I didn't want to tell him until I knew all the details. So I told him the next day when I could see him in person because I didn't want to do it through a text message. So I just kept saying I had one rule, and that was like not to cheat on him, and that's all I kept saying. And then I took him home, and that was it.
Well, I think it's great that you took the initiative to tell him yourself. I think it's a very good thing that you did. You can tell that you I think that's good quality in you. You're very truthful. So after you and Dave talked, what happened?
He just wanted me to drop. I picked him up, so he just wanted me to drop him off. So I just dropped him off, and I said like what had happened, and that was about it. And then he just kind of took things down off of Facebook, and that's how I found out I was broken up with.
Okay, so he didn't actually break up with you. He did it through social media?
Yes.
All right. I bet that was a tough thing for you.
Yeah, it was different.
Yeah, that definitely is different. Have you spoken to Dave about your feelings about the breakup?
Not in person. I mean, I tried talking to him a month ago, but he was intoxicated and wanted to work things out, and then just completely shut me off the next day.
Okay, so I'm getting that alcohol isn't really working between you, Dave, and you and Dave.
No.
Okay, so I think that's something. If you know that you're aware of that, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, I took it upon myself. I haven't drank since that night happened. If I do, it's like one. It's not anything.
Right, and you're of age, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I mean, that's okay. It's okay to let loose every once in a while. You know what I mean? But I think that's great that you do recognize that you do have to cut back on it, or it was becoming an issue.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What have you spoken to Dave about lately? The last time you spoke to him?
The last time I actually spoke to him was like 5 weeks ago when I met him when he was intoxicated.
Okay, and was there anything positive that came out of that?
The whole night, like everything that we talked about was positive that night, but when he was sober, nothing really came positive out of it.
Okay, and you haven't spoken to him since?
No.
All right. So what's the issue with not? Do you dismiss him, or is there other stuff going on?
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, like, because we went from the beginning where we were broken up to we were going to work on things and let's just forget about it to I don't want to be with you, leave me alone, to we're going to work things out, and then I ended up having sex with him, and then the next day he was like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this again, and then he was done again.
So I'm getting that you felt like he was opening up again, so you opened yourself up and it ended badly?
Yep.
Okay. And have you talked to anybody else about this?
Actually his mom and I have been in like contact, because in the beginning, like, she didn't know like what was all going on, so her and I were talking, but she finally told me, she's like, he's not the same person anymore. I think you should just let go and move on, and don't ruin your last year of college. Like, don't ruin it for him.
Okay, so given that you do have a semi-support system through his mother, is there anybody else that you would go to for a support system?
My mom.
Okay,
My
so
mom's
you would go
probably
to
my
your mom.
strongest.
That's great then. What would she do about the situation?
In the beginning, she was like mad about it because she was like, well, if you could kiss another guy, then obviously he was doing something wrong. And then she realized that he was the guy like I loved, and she said to keep fighting for him. And then when she realized like there's no effort or any response from him back, she said that I should probably just let it go because if he had any love for me, then he'd at least put some effort in.
Okay. And since you're still so distraught about it, I can tell that you still have strong feelings for him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if you're up for it, I think that we could try a behavior rehearsal, if that's okay. It's basically where you're going to be Dave and I'm going to be you, and we're going to kind of talk about the situation if you were to ever talk to him again about it. Are you okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with the worst case scenario first.
Okay.
All right, we're going to start. Dave, I know that there has been a lot that happened between us, but I really want to talk to you about, what happened in the past and see if you could just have an open mind about things.
Okay.
Okay. Obviously, like I came to you about the kiss, and I wish that you could kind of look past it.
I don't know. I can't. I don't know. That's one thing I just said, just never cheat on me, and you broke that.
And I know that, you said, everyone said that I did it, but I think that you should, have a little bit of respect for me because I did come to you about it.
I don't know, Kristie. I don't know.
Okay, we're going to stop there. How did you feel about that?
That's what I got every time. Like, I had actually showed up at his job the week after this all happened, and all he just kept saying is, I have nothing to say, I have nothing to say. So it's hard when you can't even get anything out of him, and that's all his answers are, is it's easier for him to just say, I have nothing to say, and run than try and fight.
Right. Okay, so do you want to do a best case scenario now? Do you think that would help?
Honestly, I don't even know how I would act for best case scenario for him, because I had the best case scenario with him the night I had talked to him about him being understanding, and I've gone through a rough past with guys, and I have self-confidence issues and things of that nature because I used to be heavier in the past, and he kind of just was one to make me like look past all of that.
Right.
So it was just harder now because that night he was so open to it and he understood everything, and then it just kind of went nowhere. So seeing a best case scenario is like I already had the best case scenario, and it just kind of just was a slap in the face in my way.
Right. Do you think that there would be another way to contact him? Have you ever thought about writing a letter?
I actually, surprisingly, I just bought a card that explains stuff, and I had just written a letter for him. And the reason why I thought maybe a letter, maybe it would be good closure for myself, even if it didn't end with him talking to me, but at least I can express myself and say my whole point of view about everything, and I won't have him fighting back with me or anything. He'll just have to actually read it instead of a text message, because I feel like texting could be taken in so many different ways, and that's pretty much how we've been trying to figure our relationship out.
Okay, I think that's a great idea. When do you think that you'll send the letter?
I actually wrote it today, so I was debating on I'm going home this weekend, so I was debating if I wanted to actually mail it out or just drop it off in his mailbox when I went home this weekend.
Okay. Well, I think that we've gone over a lot of stuff today, and I think that that's a great idea for you to do. So let's just talk about a little bit of our meeting today. So you came in with an issue with your boyfriend, who's now your ex-boyfriend, and you're still distraught over the situation. You're still very emotional. I think that it's amazing that you're so strong, and I think that we can work through this together. I think that you're already doing such a great job. For our next meeting, I think it'd be awesome to talk more about the letter and different goals that we can set up after we speak about the letter, and maybe we can help you through it a little bit more. Is that okay?
Yep.
All right, awesome. Well, then we'll meet the same time next week?
Sure.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, Kristie.
Thank you.